Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today is day number 16 of this new construction ground up that we are doing in Willis. So what I want to show you guys here is that we have a passing score for the pre-pour inspection. Now the pre-pour inspection is talking about the cables, it's talking about the depth of the footings, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you some pictures here so that we can all understand it. But I wanted to show you real briefly that we have two separate passing, so we have two permits, okay? Understand that whenever you're doing a duplex, you're going to be required to have two separate permits, one for each side. So as you can see here, this is permit number 24-2689. That's going to be for Unit A, 403 MLK. Then the other one is going to be 2692. Remember, the other one was 2689. This is 2692 for Unit B, 403 MLK. So yes, you have to pay extra for two permits because it's going to be a duplex, which is standard, but it's part of the building process. It's not a big deal. So here's 2689. We have here at the bottom, you can see there's a pass right here at the bottom, and there's also another pass symbol here on this one. So that's good news. So the guys that are doing the concrete or doing the framing for the pad and the foundation and stuff like that, they're going to want to get some money now that we've passed the inspection, which is fine. So we just got to communicate with these guys and just keep on moving along. At this point that we have passed the inspection, tomorrow's Friday. I would have scheduled the concrete for tomorrow, but being that tomorrow is going to be extremely cold weather, we are not going to be doing this inspection tomorrow. I'm sorry, we're not going to be doing the concrete pour because it's going to be way too cold. The pump's going to, freeze up, and the concrete guys are going to be wasting material, so they're not going to want to do it. So very simple, guys. Here's the date when it was done, the inspection when it actually was conducted. Here's the person who did it, and the information that we need for our purposes here. Let me close this up. Okay, so yesterday Curtis had some questions about the depth of the, maybe he says, I don't know, man, maybe it's an optical illusion. It looks like where the area is going to be more than 4 inches because the slab, according to the specifications of the blueprints, the structural engineer basically told us that we needed to have 4 inches at the minimum for the slab. So you can see here that this is right at 4 inches, maybe a little bit more. Here's another picture. This is going to be one of the footings. Remember, we had said that we needed to have 26 inches for the footings. And so at a minimum, so it looks like the top of the wood is right there, and we are at 26 and a quarter, which is great. That's exactly what we want to have. And then the last one here. Here's the next one, and I'm sure there's going to be some spots here on the foundation where it's probably going to be closer to 5, maybe even closer to 6, but that's not a big deal. All we want to do is to make sure that we are at least 4 inches thick on the slab. The thinnest part of the slab needs to be 4 inches. As long as we're not, 3 3/4 or 3 inches on the slab, it should be fine. Like I said, I'm sure there's going to be some parts, if we really start nitpicking, we're going to find some spots where it might be 5. We might find some spots where it might be 5 1/4, but that's not a big deal. It does mean that we are going to probably need a little bit more concrete in some areas, but again, it's just part of the business, guys. We just want to make sure that the cables are good and all that stuff is done correctly the way it's supposed to. Okay, so then here what I wanted to just show you is this finished product, and just taking some additional pictures here for you guys to take a look at. Everything's passed, everything's ready, and now we are ready for the concrete, and the concrete is going to be here on Monday. Monday is going to be a little bit better temperature, and it's not a big deal. We're just going to be stalled out for the next several days. We'll be talking about some other stuff and some other projects potentially, but at the same time, we're kind of wasting a little bit of time, but that's kind of weather related. That's to be expected when it comes to new construction. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you guys for today. Everything's moving along the way we wanted to, and we are going to be getting the guys for the concrete out there 8 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning, and we should be ready to rock and roll with this slab. We need to start ordering the material. So there's a couple of things. Let me get back to the slab real quick in the concrete. We're going to be ordering 80 yards of concrete, okay? We're paying approximately $135 per yard, plus a pump. So one of the reasons I took this picture is because the machine, right, that brings in the concrete is essentially going to be parked kind of where my truck is right here, okay? So in order for them to bring in the the concrete, they're going to need just essentially a pump, and that pump is something like this, and it just it's flimsy on the end, but in order to be able to travel that length of a distance instead of putting all the concrete here and have the guys force it down, that's a lot of work, a lot of additional labor. It's going to take a lot longer. What we do is we bring in a pump. Now I sent them a lot of pictures so they could park potentially on this side and do it this way, bring the concrete out this way. But this is why I took a lot of pictures so that the guys from the concrete company can just say, take a look at it. They can decide wherever they want to go. There's nothing here underground that's going to be, damaging. The machine that brings the concrete does have stabilizers, so it stabilizes on the sides, and then they push out the concrete the way it needs to be set out there. So an additional cost to the concrete is going to be the pump. The pump can be anywhere between $500, $750, even up to $1,000 for a pump to be able to move the concrete from the truck out to the job site where it actually needs to go. So all right, guys, now one of the other things that we need to start working is because this concrete needs to cure. It's only going to take a couple of days, maybe at the most, and we're going to get the framers out there. We need to start coordinating the framers for probably like Wednesday. I need to get with the company that's going to do the material delivery for the framing package and all that stuff. That's going to be going on next week. So we want to start coordinating all those things, start talking to them about it, so that way we're ahead of the game and we're not sitting around waiting just days that are just vacant. So we're going to give this a day or two to cure, and then we're ready to start going on the framing and start moving up on this thing. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.